you ever wonder, when is God going to show up and make things right? We're going to think about that today on Now What Devotions here, not too far from Holly Ridge, but also at Trinity Lutheran in Cyrus. I'm over at Holly Ridge Assisted Living over in Starbucks. Just finished a service here, and we were talking and thinking today about the book of Luke, chapter 18. And Jesus says, you know, you faithful people, when the disciples ask him, when's this all going to happen? When's God going to come down in the kingdom and make things right? When is God going to fix it? Jesus tells them a story about a widow. And I think there's this instinct in Christians. We want this. God, fix things. But there's something to note about that, right? Which is we feel like something's wrong. I think this time of year is a really good time to be thinking about this. You know, as winter starts to come in, we're often looking about what's broken, what's wrong, what do we need to fix? What do we need to get ready for the next step as the winter settles in? And Jesus is talking about the same thing. He says, hey, when the disciples ask him, when's God going to fix it? He says, you know, there once was a widow. That must have been really frustrating, by the way, if you were one of Jesus' close friends, right? Like, just answer the question, man. But he goes, there once was a widow. And she was dealing with this judge, and the judge was terrible. He didn't care about God or people. By the way, Jesus' definition of a terrible judge doesn't care about God or people. But the widow was persistent. She went and bothered him every single day. Hey, you got to fix this, over and over and over. And the judge finally just said, I got to fix something here because she's not going to leave me alone. And then he goes to his disciples. God is much better than this terrible judge. Be persistent. That's an interesting response to the question, right? I mean, Jesus could just tell all of us faithful people, oh, God's going to get it done. Settle back and relax. Like, he could do that, but he doesn't. He says, be persistent. Don't give up. And I think behind that is a bigger piece of God is acting. Because first off, the irony is the disciples are asking Jesus, who is the physical, visible, greatest sign of God's action ever. They're asking Jesus. They can't see that God is acting, and they're talking to God's action, to God himself. Same thing happens to us all the time. We say, God, act, and then we don't see the people who are acting. I was at a meeting the other day. It was of folks who have to report if they see kids being hurt, mandated reporters. And it's this room full of sheriffs and daycare providers and pastors and therapists, all these people who are required to report this stuff, but also who are looking and paying attention to our community to make sure the kids are okay. These aren't folks that you would look out and be like, they're part of a secret network of child protectors. But they are. There's justice happening like that all around us. Now, yes, there are big things going on that are unjust and not right. And we see those. Why? Because the Spirit motivates our hearts. Because we see injustice, it's a great marker of God is already active, saying, fix this, fix this. Be persistent, don't give up. Even though there are many, many people acting that we don't see who are acting for justice. That's your thought for today. Not only are there folks acting for justice that you're not seeing, but how might you engage? How might you use your hands and feet to make this world better? And primarily, that's probably going to be between people, right? Forgiveness and grace are our biggest jobs. Be persistent. Don't give up. God is acting. I'm Pastor Chris from Trinity over here in Cyrus. Seeing the cold weather come in. Hoping you have a great week. Bye-bye for now.